You say you're Marxist. That means you're a communist.
Yeah.
You are a communist.
Yeah.
Do you wish that America was a communistic country?
Sure, I wish the world was, actually.
Why?
But the question is, how do you get from this to that?
Why is communism better?
Well, there's been no communist states. I mean, even the Soviet Union was only socialist. That's why it's capitalist now. Communism is a form that exists when there is no state. To have a state which is abusing you, right away it must be a socialist state could abuse you, obviously. We know a capitalist state could abuse you. The question is, how do you get past that? You know, how do you get to a point here in the United States where you can have first democracy? Because we're not even there yet, you see. So we've got to get to democracy. We've got to get to a people's democracy, you know, where the majority of the people in this country have control over the state, which is why the Obama thing is important. You know, realizing that it is a multinational state, a multinational nation.
So you think under Obama, America might lead down the path of communism?
No, we lead down the path of a people's democracy, a more democratic state. You cannot even talk about socialism until you talk about democracy, you understand? And we're at a point where we're reaching for democracy, because this is actually a transitional economic place that we're in, you know. The Americans don't want to hear socialism yet, but that's exactly what's happening, and that's an old thing, that if you keep putting the people deeper in debt, it's a Marx said that in the 19th century, you keep putting people deeper in debt, they're going to default, and the banks are going to fold, and then you're going to move towards socialism. That's just what's happening now, you know. The fact is that we have the most vicious opposition and right-wing forces. Not only they to the most greedy form of capitalism, because it wasn't the people that brought the U.S. economy to this state. It was that 0.6% that create, you know, that live off other people's wealth, who now are hurting, but they want to come to us to get bailed out. I mean, you know, why should I bail you out if you're making millions of dollars? My own newspaper, which I edit, we came out and said, President Obama, no bailout, nationalize these companies. And that's what's happening, essentially. They don't want to say the word nationalization, because that's a nasty word in the United States, who worship, you know, monopoly capitalism. But still, that's what's happening. General Motors, Chrysler, it's really, even the New York Times said it's backdoor nationalization. That is, the government will own up to 70% of General Motors.
Does that make you happy?
Yes, more so, because hopefully if the government owns it, then the people can exert more influence over them. That's a step forward, because it's not new. Certainly they've been doing that in Europe since World War II. The question now is, what kind of pressure can the people exert on Obama's administration to make this tacit nationalization, to make it important and positive for the majority of people?
I know.